If you like it, do you really have to put a ring on it?
Get that stuff out of here! It's Southwest Bias!
Welcome into the fun house that's known as Southwest Bias, live from Studio K here in PHNX HQ3, brought to you by our friends at Circle K. Remember to become a member of the Inner Circle, and today you are going to save 40 cents off per gallon just by doing it. And I want to talk about greatness. What is it? There's been a lot of talk online about celebrating the good, not good person, but good stats by putting guys in the Hall of Fame. Some talk about Mark Grace. I saw talk about Robert Horry. And I don't feel like Hall of Fames should have people that were just good in their career. Guys that were a step above average, but weren't in that stratosphere of deserving to be remembered for all time. That's what a Hall of Famer is a guy that did more with less, a guy that wound up being at the pinnacle of his career. That's what Hall of Fame should be. It shouldn't be the guy that did really well, right? The guy that maybe had a lot of rings but wasn't a fantastic player, wasn't the guy that was the man on a roster. It's not what the Hall of Fame's for. But it made me wonder, in particular in the NBA, if you'd rather win rings or have individual glory. Because we live in a ring culture. If you don't win a ring, it doesn't matter. I mean, I've even said it with the Suns, but that was in regards to this super team they had put together, the quote-unquote super team, and that I felt they had to win a ring or it wasn't success just because of the talent. But the ring culture, that you have to win a ring, otherwise you aren't great, I think is a very short-sighted and ridiculous conversation. And that's what brings me to Steve Nash versus Robert Horry. Would you rather have Steve Nash's career or Robert Horry's career? Would you rather have massive amounts of rings or huge individual success? Shane, if we have that graphic, we can look at the comparison of these two guys' careers. 18 seasons for Nash, 16 for Horry. Nash averaged double the points per game, 14-7. Robert Horry, obviously, as a forward, had 4.8 rebounds to Nash's 3. Nash, 8.5 assists per game to 2 for Horry. 8 All-Stars for Nash, 0 for Robert Horry. 2 MVPs for Nash, 0 for Robert Horry. 7 All-NBA rankings, and 0 for Robert Horry. Rings, 0 for Nash, 7 for Horry. And then career earnings, $147 million for Steve Nash, $54 million for Robert Horry. Which guy would you rather be? Is ring culture that important? Would you rather have the 7 rings that Robert Horry can drop on the table? Or would you rather have the 2 MVP trophies, the All-NBA nods, the fact that you helped redefine what basketball means and rejuvenated a Phoenix Suns team who, prior to you coming back, had been floundering a bit? Would you rather be known as the guy that created 7 seconds or less? Or would you rather be known as the guy that was 4th, 5th, sometimes 6th option on a team, but won 7 rings? For me, I never want to be the guy that rode the coattails to getting titles. I don't particularly like guys that chase rings. I don't particularly like guys that at the end of their career go, I need to go join that team because they've got a lot of talent. I think Robert Horry was a good player. I think Robert Horry found himself in some big moments because of the guys that were around him. But never were the Rockets his team. They were Hakeem. They were Kenny Smith. Hell, they were more Vernon Maxwell and Sam Cassell than they were Robert Horry's team. The Spurs were Tim Duncan and David Robinson and Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker. They were never Robert Horry's team. The Lakers were were Kobe and were Shaq. They were never Robert Horry's team. So yeah, he has 7 rings, and he played small bit parts in those. Hit some big shots. There's no doubt in that. I think there's a lot of guys you could have put in that spot that would have succeeded just like Robert Horry. But there is not a lot of guys that you would have put in Steve Nash's position that would have succeeded in the way that Steve Nash did. You saw it. Mike D'Antoni went plenty of places and tried to replicate the same success and could never find it. You know why? Because he didn't have Steve Nash. I'd rather be an MVP. I'd rather be a 7-time All-NBA player. I'd rather have earned more money, and I'd rather be remembered as a guy that had massive impact in changing the game than I would be Robert Horry. Rings are nice, but Steve Nash is going to be remembered forever. Steve Nash is in the Hall of Fame. Robert Horry's in the Hall of did good things, got some rings. I don't think there's really a debate here. I'd much rather be Steve Nash than Robert Horry. I'd much rather be great than be good. I'd much rather be a guy that defined a generation at a position than a guy that rode superstars' tails to getting rings. But maybe that's my Southwest bias. We welcome in the mustache behind the Mac. Shane, would you rather be a superstar or a guy that found some rings along the way?
This debate, to me at least, is a lot less clear cut than it is for you. It completely depends on what you define as great. I think the entire ring culture has ruined a lot of debates in the last 10 years or so, but it'd still be nice to win some. That being said, you look at the career earnings.
What spurned this was I saw somebody trying to make the argument that Robert Horry should be in the Hall of Fame. No, he's got a trophy case full of rings, right? Okay, great. Doesn't mean you should be in the Hall of Fame. Is Steve Kerr as a player going to go in the Hall of Fame because he got 5 rings, because he played with Jordan and he played with Tim Duncan? No. Steve Kerr and Robert Horry are of the same ilk. They hit big shots in a situation that they got open looks because of the stars that were around them.
But I also think that the conversation then shifts to the Hall of Fame process, because in every sport it means something different. Some Hall of Fames are much more elite to get in than others. And you look at like the MLB, and certain players are, you're wondered, why are they waiting until their last year? And then the NBA, it's a little bit looser, and everyone's a Hall of Famer.
I still okay. That everybody is a legend for their team. I hate that in the NBA. Suns legend, and then it's a guy that played 3.5 minutes for the team. Like that drives me nuts.
Here's the game we need to play either tomorrow or next week. Who is the worst Hall of Famer of all time? Who is the least deserving Hall of Famer of all time?
There's probably a lot of them.
There are, and we need to bring 10 to the table.
We will do that. We will take a look at who the worst Hall of Famer of all time is. But I don't know. Maybe it's my bias against Robert Horry. I would much rather be the guy that personally succeeded, because there's so many factors that go into winning a championship.
Yeah,
Robert Horry essentially cheated the Suns out of one of them by hip checking Steve Nash, right? Does that mean Robert Horry, because he did that and likely derailed the Suns' chances and helped the Spurs, that makes him better because he got that ring? If Nash had went on to win that ring, nobody's even questioning Steve Nash because he's got the title now too. Ring culture has rotted brains in some ways.
I think there are two different questions though. Who would you rather be? I mean, I think the answer, at least for me, is Steve, because past it, like, yeah, you can look back at, I wish we would have won this. I wish we would have won that. But you're also way more influential than Horry will ever be. Who's had a more like storied career in terms of like the NBA? I think that's a way closer debate because of the championships.
That's fair.
It's never a discussion of who's the better player. That's for damn sure.
No. I mean, there's no doubt that Steve Nash was the better player. I just found it interesting. Who would you rather be? The other thing I found interesting looking at the internet yesterday after our show, scrolling around, is this video that came from our very own Bo Brock of Paris Johnson Jr. talking about his relationship with ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. I probably can't even talk about the craziest. I'm really into conspiracies. You know what I mean? I got to talk off the record about my ChatGPT conspiracy talks we have. I won't pay for the plus, the $20 a plus. I won't pay for it, so I just have to pick it up the next day. But no, me and Chat just lately, especially in Denver after the ones we're done in Denver after practice, me and Chat were just typing it up, just learning. It's kind of cool.
I didn't think I could love an offensive lineman, but Paris Johnson Jr. is quickly becoming one of my favorites. But I find this relationship with ChatGPT fascinating, like completely fascinating, that he literally sits there and discusses conspiracy theories with an AI bot. And that, he's a millionaire and he does not want to pay the $20 a month to be able to have that conversation even longer. He just picks it up the next day. And that after that game in Denver, he thought, you know what, I got to talk to ChatGPT. Let's talk some conspiracy theories. So I said, I'm going to go to the source. I'm going to go straight to ChatGPT and I'm going to ask ChatGPT about its relationship with Paris Johnson Jr. I asked, do you really talk to Paris Johnson Jr. about conspiracies? And ChatGPT responded, I don't have private conversations with Paris Johnson Jr. or any athlete outside of what's publicly available, which is crap. but I think I get where you're hinting at. Paris Johnson Jr. has shown a personality off the field, whether it's through interviews, podcasts, or social posts, and fans sometimes joke about him being the kind of guy who would dive into wild what-if conversations like conspiracies, Marvel multiverse theories, or video game debates. If you're asking literally, no, I don't sit around talking conspiracy theories with him. But if you want, I can mock up a fun conspiracy conversation skit between me and Paris Johnson Jr. in his voice and personality, the way fans imagine he'd sound when joking around. Which means it's time for what I'm going to call disaster piece theater, where Shane and I are going to act out the script that ChatGPT actually wrote.
I hate this idea.
You love it and you know it.
First of all, I actually don't think what it said was crap.
You don't think it has conversations with Paris Johnson Jr. about this? You think Paris Johnson Jr.
Well,
lied?
no, it said I don't have private conversations with him because they're all publicly available, which is horrifying.
If it's publicly available, why didn't it give me the link? I want to see the documentation.
Well, it's probably publicly available under law.
Okay. Does that mean this thing that we're about to act out, this disaster piece theater, might actually be real? Like it may have pulled words from it.
Can't do that legally.
All right, you are going to play the part of your dreaded AI, which is ChatGPT. I will play the part of Paris Johnson Jr. I'll set the scene. Paris Johnson Jr. is on his phone after a game at home. Shane is trapped in some hard drive in some massive data center somewhere in an undisclosed location.
Do you think that he's using it on the phone, though?
I imagine so. You really think he's sitting there with a laptop?
Yes.
Who uses a laptop anymore if they're not working?
I do.
Well, all right. Let's go, Shane. End scene.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, hold on.
What's your motivation?
I'm a bit of a diva. Yes. I need my motivation, but I also need to know what do I sound like? Like who's this personality?
Well, I think in this case, ChatGPT.
Like, is it a full computer voice, or is this going to be one of those like?
I think it's an AI human voice that is acting like it's somebody wearing a tinfoil hat, hiding out in an undisclosed location basement. spewing some theories here. That's your motivation, and you're talking to a man that you know is very rich and very large.
Okay.
All right, and scene.
Paris, I gotta ask, do you really believe in some of these conspiracy fans joke about?
Man, look, I'm not saying I believe everything, but you can't tell me the pyramids were built without Wi-Fi or something. Those blocks are too perfect. Somebody had advanced tech.
So you're telling me the ancient Egyptians had better Wi-Fi than the State Farm Stadium?
Hey, I'm just saying, sometimes our signals are so bad I believe it.
What about the moon landing?
Nah, that's real. But what they don't tell you is we went back up there, found some stuff, and kept it quiet. That's why nobody has been talking about it.
So the NFL's hiding lunar helmets in Area 51?
Exactly. That's why linemen don't get tired. We're powered by alien tech.
And here I thought it was the weight room.
Nah, man. It's alien protein shakes.
Scene.
I think that's exactly what it would sound like when Paris Johnson Jr. and ChatGPT have a little discussion about conspiracy.
We might have to throw that one away.
Why would we throw that one away?
We might have to throw. Well, I like the idea of acting something out. We might have to throw the ChatGPT one away.
Okay. I
didn't like that character. I need to be cast into something bigger.
I mean, I gave you the option. You could have been the rich offensive lineman. I could have been ChatGPT.
Yeah.
You just didn't feel like you could hold the gravitas to pull that off.
I think the writer was a little soulless.
I think I just won an Emmy right here on the program. I'm going to go in the Hall of Good when it comes to crappy acting on a podcast on YouTube.
Let's take a break.
We're going to take a break. Right after this, I kick Derek Montilla, the mayor of PHNX's ass again in Throwdown Thursday. Stay right here. Circle K, you want to save 40 cents off per gallon today on gas? Become a member of the Inner Circle. Download the Circle K app and enter a little bit of information. You are going to get 40 cents off. And after that, you're going to get 25 cents off your first 5 fill-ups per gallon. Then you can get 3 cents off per gallon. Then you can hit that sweet Espo level. You're going to get 5 cents off per gallon. It is just that easy, and it is completely free. But that's not all. You're going to get deals on Polar Pop, 79 cents, any size. So if you need a little caffeine in your life, they got you covered with a Polar Pop. Are you sweating your backside off out there in 113-degree heat in late August? A Froster for 99 cents has got you covered. Plus, right now, you're going to save all sorts of money on cookies. $1 each. Like, why are you not going to get on that? Or 3 Gatorades for $5. It's just that simple. Join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply like everything in life. At participating locations, visit CircleK.com for details. And our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos have got you covered, right? You can achieve legendary status when you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. And I got to encourage you next week, the 28th, I think you should come out and be a part of the PHNX Cardinals residency. We're going to be doing a show, a Q&A, and then the all-knowing, all-great PHNX fantasy draft is going to happen again, where we honor Max Simpson, our previous winner and future Waffle House contestant. There as well. Plus, they've got a AAA 4-diamond resort that you can relax there and enjoy amazing mountain views. 4,500 slots and live table games, plus the biggest sports book in the valley. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playathila.com for more details. And guess what? It's time for Throwdown Thursday. The mayor is here. It is our first Throwdown Thursday here in the new Studio K. He's moving my stuff, which already makes him a complete and utter loser. He's losing this series 3-1 so far, but we'll give him a chance to get a little bit closer.
I don't expect to win on this program, Greg.
A little bit closer. My wife's not in the chat, so you might have.
I'm trying.
You have one less vote than usual.
That's going to be a problem for me. She's my biggest advocate.
So, Shane, what do you got for us today?
Well, the first one I think needs to be what we just did. Derek, we'll start with you. Mm-hmm. Your opinion on people using ChatGPT for just conversations.
Well, while that is a vast waste of resources and it makes me sad for the human condition, I do not fault anybody for using ChatGPT to have conversations. ChatGPT can be wonderful at times. I know it's an evil AI that eventually is going to kill us all, but for the time being, having those conversations can be more wonderful than having conversations with people in real life. I had an argument with ChatGPT one day. In fact, that argument was about whether or not ChatGPT was bad for the environment. And somehow ChatGPT convinced me that it wasn't. So I'm here to advocate once again on ChatGPT's behalf, because if you want to go out there and you want somebody to talk to, you want somebody that's going to maybe answer questions for you, maybe give you advice that you don't feel like other people are going to fairly give you, maybe assess you as a person in a way where you might feel embarrassed to ask another person to give you that kind of insight on yourself, look to ChatGPT. Why not? I mean, again, people are going to use it for their assignments in school. They're going to use it to generate their topics on their show, probably, this fraud over here next to me. So if everybody else is going to use it, there's no reason why you shouldn't use it for whatever reasons you want to use it for. If that includes having heartwarming interactions with an artificial intelligence, I am not here to stop you. In fact, I'll encourage you to do so if it makes you happy. So that's all I got. I'll concede my remaining time.
Somehow I am not surprised that you lost an argument to artificial intelligence, Derek. Look, there are studies that show that using ChatGPT is actually making us dumber as a society. Having conversations with a non-human entity is not having an actual conversation. It is actually helping AI win. Do you really want to help AI win and defeat us as a society? Do you really want to try to make this artificial intelligence smarter by dumping on your deep and darkest secrets, asking it for advice on whatever rash you're hiding from your family? Like, I mean, why are we doing this? Why are we call a human being? You need help? Call a psychologist, right? If you want to talk conspiracy theories, call your crazy uncle. If you want to find out if a ChatGPT is bad for the environment, do some damn research yourself. Don't ask ChatGPT. Would you go ask a murderer for advice? Like, would you ask? Like you turned right to ChatGPT and asked it about itself. Why would you ask that? Like, would I go to you and go, hey, Derek, how should I lose this argument?
I mean, you've come to me and asked me to defend myself. So
I mean, that's because of your boss, not because you're artificial intelligence. All right. I think that we are turning to the machines far too much and ChatGPT far too much. If you can't fake your way through a high school or college paper like the rest of us, you probably don't deserve that degree. If you can't read the Spark Notes or Cliff Notes to get through that book you don't want to read, you don't deserve to pass the class. ChatGPT is not a crutch. It is a device that's going to destroy us all at some point.
Nobody answers when I call. That's all.
Okay. For those of you unfamiliar with how this works, we will open up a poll at the end of the third round for you guys to vote on the winner of Throwdown Thursday. Next topic, something I'm very passionate about. Espo, we'll start with you. Is coffee served too hot?
I think that's the point, right? It starts too hot, so when it inevitably cools down as you're driving to wherever you're going or as you're having that conversation with that cup of coffee, that it reaches a temperature that's actually drinkable. Right. And I think if you're not aware, the coffee's coming out hot and you drink it, that's on you. Right. I mean, the fact that McDonald's has to have a warning on their coffee that it says this liquid is hot just shows where we are as a society, because somebody spilled that on themselves and then sued them because their coffee was hot. There is no such thing as coffee being too hot, because it eventually gets to the temperature that you want. You want that thing brewed to perfection. I mean, you could essentially put McDonald's coffee in the center of the sun, and you're never going to get it to perfection because that stuff's slop. But you want average coffee, a good coffee, to be brewed at a temperature that gets you all that flavor out of it. I don't think that coffee can be served too hot. You just don't wait long enough to drink it. And that's the problem here, is not the temperature it's given to you at. It's the fact that you hop right in without waiting for it to cool to the appropriate temperature. I am perfectly fine with how they serve coffee because they've been doing it for hundreds of years, and there's a reason for it.
Hot coffee is one of the stupidest things to ever drink, period. And he made the case for it. It's either too hot or then what? It's instantly too cold. It's just dumb. Hot coffee is dumb. This isn't 1950 anymore. We don't need hot coffee. We have other ways to deliver caffeine that are far superior. Have you ever heard of Monster energy drinks? Why do I need to drink hot coffee anymore? That I have to figure out some sort of formula of cream and sugar I'm going to put in there just to make it slightly appealing to me? I don't need a hot coffee. I'll take a good iced coffee any day. Why? Because we live in Phoenix, Arizona, and there is rarely a time where hot coffee ever makes any sense. Is hot coffee too hot? You're damn right it is. It's always too hot until it's too cold, and then it's awful. It's like room temperature and nobody wants to drink it. That's the reason why typically some sort of waitress at a diner needed to come around and refresh your hot coffee, because it gets terrible once it cools down. But when it's hot, it's too hot to drink. It's a dumb drink. It's a dumb drink that we don't need to drink anymore. Look at the vast superior drinks that you can get at Starbucks. I know no free ads. I know it's not no free ads.
You've already given 2 free ads.
Still, at Circle K, look at all the amazing options you can get at Circle K that aren't hot coffee. Not to mention that entire cooler section that has, like I said, other ways to deliver caffeine into your system. Did you know there are gummies to do that with now? Delicious gummies that taste like fruit. That's such a superior way to get caffeine in your system other than hot, stupid hot coffee. I don't want hot coffee. Yes, it's too hot. It's always too hot until it's not, and then it's awful then too. So no, I don't want hot coffee. And to answer your question, yes, it's too hot. Hot coffee's too hot, and it's dumb.
Can I ask a follow-up? No. It's not okay.
No.
You don't like hot coffee. You want iced coffee, but when hot coffee gets cold, you don't like it.
Yeah,
I'm just
it's terrible. I think people that drink hot coffee would be the first one to say that. Yeah, iced coffee is far superior because it just starts off cold. It's just not a disappointing room temperature situation.
I'm using both of the rest of your guys' times right now. The argument I always hear is what Espo started off with, that the coffee is served too hot so you can wait. Why would you want that?
Exactly.
You get it, and then you get it. If it's served at the perfect temperature, then you can start drinking it immediately. And the other argument I've heard, which is even dumber, is that coffee then gets colder faster if it's served that temperature that is perfect, but then you're not drinking it when it's too hot. So who cares? I burned myself once at the Copenhagen airport, and I'm never forgiving that damn waitress for giving me the hottest macchiato I've ever had. We're going on to the next topic. The final topic, when it comes to a movie, Derek, you're starting us off. What snack are you going for?
What snack am I going for a movie? Is this a movie theater?
At a movie theater, excuse me, yes.
At a movie theater, I'm going for the superior snack. And I mean, yes, there are lots of options. I know that we've discussed things like candies and popcorn and such, but I have to rely heavily on the underrated snack that is nachos. I'll tell you why. Nachos at a movie are one of the best things that you can have, simply because, again, this kind of goes back to the coffee discussion, right? There are all sorts of things that you could have at a movie theater, but aren't they disappointing for the most part once you get through? Now, I'm a big chocolate Raisinets guy. I could have gone in that direction, but you know what happens with Raisinets. You're going to get messy. There's going to be stuff there that's all over your hand, melted chocolate. Popcorn disappoints. You're going to put too much butter on it. It's going to be good through the preview, and after that, you will have no snack at all for the rest of the movie. Nachos actually do in fact remain intact. They remain a snack. You can save it until the end of the movie, and you still have cheese and you still have chips. I am talking about stadium nachos too, not the ones that come with the cheese on top. No. I'm talking about the little cheese cup that's hot off to the side, chips, tortilla chips. I'm telling you, I know that this might be an underrated snack that not a lot of people appreciate, but when you think about it over the course of a film, what do? You waste your snacks too early. And a big part of that is because if you wait too long to eat that popcorn, again, just like his stupid hot coffee, it's awful, and you know it is. And it's also butter's going to leak through. They shouldn't let us put our own butter on popcorn. That was a mistake in the first place because you use too much. I know I use too much. He uses too much. It's going to get all over the place, and it's not going to be good by the time you get to the second half of that large bag. And I know you're going to go for the large bag because the medium bag is just like $2 less. And by the time you're spending $12, you're just going to spend $14. But I digress. This is why nachos are the best snack. And again, a very underrated snack when going to a movie theater.
Derek's entire argument against every other snack were problems of his own. Like, they don't melt just because they're candy. It's how you handle them. Popcorn, too much butter is you putting too much butter on it. Like, these are you problems, not a problem with the snack. And why would I want nasty chips that are stale and nacho cheese that isn't cheese? It's some kind of weird chemical concoction that gets a film as it starts to cool down and is just like plastic rubber.
You're almost a minute in and haven't given your snack yet.
I don't want that. What I want is popcorn. They don't make novelty nacho buckets at a movie. They make novelty popcorn buckets because popcorn is the staple of movies. Popcorn is spectacular. The right taste, it's salty, it's warm. I love me some popcorn, and it is the only thing that you should be getting at movie theaters. Maybe you get a secondary snack that you want in there, maybe a little sweet, but popcorn is the main course. You are going for popcorn. Popcorn is so synonymous with movies that it is one of the first things you think about when you think about movies. Right? Who led the let's all go to the lobby video? It's popcorn because the other snacks are trash compared to it. It's the leader in the clubhouse. Popcorn is what you get at a movie. I rest my case.
All right. The poll is in the chat, guys. Make sure to vote in it. I shouldn't be swaying this vote, but Derek, those are two of the most insane snacks. You brought up nachos and Raisinets. That's crazy. I've never heard anybody going for
chocolate-covered raisins as being one of the greatest snacks ever. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's insane.
Raisinets are, what do you mean that's insane? Raisinets are amazing. In what world are they not one of the top 5 snacks or candies that you can get at a movie theater? This is a whole other argument we can have. This is insane.
Hold on. You picked...
What?
You picked old grapes covered in chocolate.
Yeah,
that is the snack you picked.
They're amazing.
No,
yeah.
you essentially picked nature's garbage grapes with chocolate on.
Look,
no.
Keep it up. We'll see. If we brought a bag of chocolate Raisinets and put them in this kitchen, they would not last a day. Don't you dare act like people don't like Raisinets.
That's because we got a bunch of heathens that would eat anything you put in the kitchen.
I don't even want to win this
it's
show
not a
anymore.
Raisinette thing.
No, don't vote for me. Don't vote for me.
Don't worry, they weren't already. They weren't already. All 4 of them weren't voting for you anyways.
I miss you, Tracy.
The poll is still running in the chat. We're split 50-50 right now.
Oh my God.
The next vote.
We can fix it.
No.
Absolute fraud.
The next vote will decide it.
The new intern over there could fix this. Yeah. And you got to remember who the boss is, baby.
Boo.
No, all right.
Well, before
Shane, you want to vote?
You know what we will do? We will read the super chat while we wait.
All right.
Psycho Blue, $10. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you, sir.
It's too long to put on the screen, so I'm just going to read it. The sad truth is that a lot of individual accolades are invalidated if there's no championship ring to show for. When it comes to the tiebreaker on player rankings, have to go with Horry's rings.
Well, Psycho Blue, I usually like you, but you're completely wrong here. But I hope you voted for me before I said that.
If it's a pro Horry comment, we agree that it's a bad comment.
Yeah.
All right, I'm making Emily be the tiebreaker.
All right.
Who won, Emily?
No. Oh, and then we're gonna know it was you. We know it was you, and we know which way you went.
I'm Espo. He's Derek. Since we haven't.
There we go. Espo's the winner because of the nacho tape.
4-1. 4-1.
I hate this job.
Give me my rings. In this case, I'll take my rings. That is another edition of Southwest Bias in the books. A big thanks to the mustache behind the Mac, Shane Diefenbach. You can follow him at Shane Dief. I guess thanks for being here. To the mayor, you can follow him at Cap_Caveman. That's Caveman with a K. You can follow the show at PHNX_Sons. You can follow me at Espo. And remember, I'm the king. I got the crown. Ahoy, hoy.
We all silly like the mayor.